Yeah, so to share some news with you before we start the chanting, I have a new laptop. So to say, you could say bad news and good news, because bad news is my laptop after last week's class stopped working properly. I couldn't post on Facebook, couldn't get it on Facebook, couldn't Google anything, couldn't get on the YouTube channel. Then I thought maybe a day later, maybe I can fix it by going on to what they call it, Windows 11, the new Windows. But it wouldn't let me do that either. So I had to, excuse me, but get off my butt and get a new laptop because this one was packing up. I was actually almost going to call Atisha to see whether she could help me out with it. But I guess it's now almost, I'll say 5.5 to 6 years that I had it, and I used it quite a lot, I guess. So maybe that's the lifespan for such a thing. So this new one, not cheap, that's for sure, but also a good discount. And it's got Windows 11, and I'm not sure how to use it properly yet. All I know is that I think the picture's much better. I don't know from your side. I noticed when I went on and checked the camera before that the picture was better. Hopefully the microphone is working well. Yes, give me a thumbs up if it's working well. Good. Because I forgot actually to sort of like set things. And I was actually my name at the bottom of the screen, instead of saying Dharmacharya Andrew Williams, like, as per usual, it said tick. So THICH, which is means monk in Vietnamese. So it's related to my Gmail account that I don't actually use very much. Okay, so anyway, let's do the chanting, and then we'll have a look at some meditation, of course, and then Dharma Talk, continuing the commentary on Master Atisha's heart advice. And we'll finish up on the section that relates to the six paramitas today, before moving on to the last, I think it's six lines or something. Okay. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dudayambi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dudayambi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dudayambi Sangham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Tadayambi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Tadayambi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata Gati Gati Para Samgati Bodhi Soha. Tayata Gati Para Samgati Bodhi Soha. Tayata Gati Para Samgati Bodhi Soha. Yes, so with the computer, I just thought maybe it was a little glitch, little problem. It would fix itself as it's done in the past. So I got onto the computer the next day. Still, same problem. I hadn't yet tried to get onto Windows 11. So I actually utilized Mum's computer, which is much older than mine, but has a reconditioned engine in it or something like that. And so it got fixed a few years ago. And so utilized that to post on Facebook and to upload to the YouTube channel. And then, so that was done, sort of a short-term fix. And then Monday, it got same problems. And that's when I couldn't download and what do you call it? Anyway, set up the Windows 11. So I couldn't do that. And then, so the next day, initially I thought, like I said, I was going to call Atisha to see if she could help, then call a professional who Mum has used in the past and Dad too. Very good guy, local here, only 10 minutes away. And then I thought, I'll do that. So then I checked again the computer, and it didn't. I mean, it just had this weird stuff up there. So I thought, no, God. So I called the store after checking on the Google, checking on the internet, and had a look at what was on special, what price, what was compatible with the one I have or had, and also increase it to what we call a 2 TG. Oh, I forget now. What is it? Megabytes or one TB, so terabyte. So almost double of what's the storage on a normal computer, so that I can store all the videos and so on. So sort of upgraded a little bit in both from the point of view of something new, but also more storage. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Also, I mention it because maybe about 10 months ago, I promised you that we would, when the old one initially broke in the corner and I couldn't move it around or close it, I promised you to have a look around the house. Remember we were doing show and tell about a year ago, showing some Buddhist images and things like that, and maybe giving some teachings from them. And so we'll see when we do it, okay? I'm not sure when we'll do it, but I will show you around. Maybe I'll wait a little bit until the sun is up a bit more into the evenings, okay? Because otherwise you may not be able to see something. And I'll show you around the house and my little cubby house temple downstairs. All of my Buddha images downstairs. Maybe teach you from them as well. Okay, so let's do some meditation. Get yourself comfy. Bring your mind inside the body. Closing your eyes. Or if it is your habit to have your eyes a little bit open, then don't get distracted by visual things. But also, if you have closed eyes, don't get sleepy. Keep yourself alert. While we're releasing the tension in the body, you can manipulate the body if you need to, or utilize long in-breath, or I should say deep in-breath and a long out-breath to release the tension. Or if you can do it with your mind, better still. Once we get into the breath meditation and love and kindness meditation, try to keep your body still. And this will help you keep your mind still, vice versa, and vice versa. So release the tension all the way from the tips of the toes, up your body, to the tips of your fingers, and to the top of your head. Take a few moments to do this now. Once you've done this, scan your body briefly again, just to see if you've left any tension there that you can release. And if there is, release it. Now bring your focus to the tip of your nose initially, and follow the feeling of the breath as we breathe in the nose all the way into the lungs, then back out the nose again. Breathing in and breathing out. If thoughts arise or mental activity arises, then don't cling to it, grasp at it, or try to force it away, or deny it. But let it go naturally as you replace the mind back onto the breath. And if your mind starts to become dull or sleepy, then wake it up a little by refocusing on the breath more brightly. You can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths, if you like. One in breath and one out breath is one, and so on. But don't count past 10, as we want the breath to remain the focus. And if you get distracted on the way to 10, go back to 1 at that time. So let's practice like this in silence for a bit. But now we can feel pleased with ourselves and fill ourselves with universal loving kindness. Fill ourselves, our whole being, with the white light representing this universal loving kindness. Really feel nice, very light body, light mind, gentle, calm, and peaceful. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows and radiates outwards. The white light leaving your heart center. Still, you remain filled with the white light, of course. This loving kindness is immeasurable. So the white light leaving your heart center and entering into the heart centers of your loved ones initially, and filling them with the universal loving kindness in the form of the white light, wishing that they are happy, free from suffering, and are peaceful. And now also include strangers and do likewise. And also those you may regard as enemies, and also do likewise. Now extend the loving kindness out further and further distance-wise, starting around your immediate area, to all living beings, all sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born. May they all be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. So they are filled with the white light, representing universal loving kindness. And now also throughout your whole state or county, and all of the states and counties throughout the world. I should say your country. And then throughout all of the countries throughout the world, those you're familiar with and have an affinity towards, those you're indifferent towards, and those you may have some negative feelings about. And also have your loving kindness pervade throughout all of the oceans and other bodies of water, down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And have your loving kindness pervade throughout the whole solar system and galaxy and the universe and beyond, until your loving kindness pervades throughout infinite space. Now we'll recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious body, Chitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And so maybe we can call this Dharma class the new laptop Dharma class, because I'm going to mention something else here. So Tuesday About 4:30, I agreed over the telephone because I know these people, and from before when we bought other things before, electrical things, and I think Mum and Dad have actually been customers of theirs for maybe 30 years or more. Anyway, we agreed upon the price, conditions, and all that sort of stuff. And so about 4:30, I said to them, and Wonthaggi, by the way, is where it is, and it's about a half-hour drive from here. So it's the main country town, sort of in this area. And so anyway, I said, "What time do you close?" 5:30, they said. I said, "If I arrive around 5:10, is that okay?" So they said yes. So off I went. And so I brought my old laptop, and so they could transfer everything across because that was part of the deal. Within the price was that they would set it up, the new one, and transfer all of the things that are important of the old one. So they had Wednesday to do that and Thursday morning, and then I went to pick it up on Thursday afternoon. So I haven't had it very long. I'm not familiar with it yet, and I probably should have sort of turned it on a long time before class. But to tell the truth, I forgot that I even had it for like a day and a half. I didn't even think about it because I've only been using the laptop because the other one's been broken, the frame of it anyway, for about 10 months. I haven't been able to move it. So I've only been using it for classes or to do updates, and maybe there's some other stuff I need to do during the week. But I have to come in here and do it, not move it. So I'm not used to walking around with a laptop now, whereas before it broke, it was have it downstairs, upstairs, on the lounge chair whenever I needed to do something. But I've been using the iPhone since then more often than not. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. So I'll get a little bit more familiar with it. Like I said, it seems to me that the camera's a bit better, and maybe the sound is better as well. Okay, so I will now continue the commentary. We kind of covered everything last week, a little bit cryptically. I'll start out by answering a query on how to deal with trauma, I gather, mental trauma, from negative things that have happened to us in the past. I did reply very briefly, and that is, first of all, the past is gone. That doesn't dismiss your experiences, because all of your experiences have led up to this moment. The good ones, these bad ones that maybe caused the mental trauma and the difficulties, and many, many that are indifferent. So leading up to this moment, so you can rejoice in the fact that you are existent as a human being in this moment, in touch with the Dharma, certain level of wisdom and compassion and so on, okay? Then the past is gone though. The only thing that remains of it is our memory of it and our attachment that we place on things. And unfortunately, I think us human beings tend to hang on to a lot of negatives too. We tend to bring them into this moment, and then it affects us in this moment. And so we feel the mental trauma in this moment, even though those things happened in the past. Also, the other thing I mentioned was the future's not here. It's obvious. As soon as it becomes a future, it's the present. And even this moment is fleeting. All things are impermanent, whether it's these conditions and also how we react to certain stimuli, certain circumstances, the unsavory circumstances, as well as we tend to react with aversion, as well as those we find pleasing, tend to react with attachment. But we shouldn't cling on to these things. It's not helpful for us. Everything is impermanent and changing, So, and also lacking a self, empty of substance. That in conditioned existence, they are all things are empty, coming together because of cause, condition, and effect. When there is this, there is that. When this ceases, that ceases, And like I said, all that remains of it is our memory of it and our clinging to it. So I think once again, I say that that doesn't dismiss the difficulties that has been caused, but just know that you are in charge of your mind. So you yourself can help yourself to let go of any negative feelings that you may be harboring in relation to these difficulties. Okay. And this relates to the subject today too, because that's how we can utilize this so-called wisdom of emptiness, this perfection of wisdom. Even though we haven't perfected it yet, we can learn to not take things so personally and realize that all of our experiences really have, when it's related, I utilize the example of in relation with others. And maybe I'll utilize generosity. It's simple to do so. There is the giver, there is the receiver, and there is the giving, or the actual thing that's being given. So the giver does not exist by itself. The act of generosity or giving wouldn't happen without these three. The receiver is empty in this case as well. And the giving, of course, needs a giver and a receiver. So you can see that they're all empty. So now I'll bring it to what we're talking about, the trauma that's created from having the negative experiences in the past. Those perpetrators, you could say, actually are empty. You yourself, being the receiver, empty. And the negative actions, negative vibes, or whatever happened, empty. And also empty because in the past's gone. Now is the present. What I just said is in the past. What I'm about to say is in the future, but actually in the present when I say it. Hopefully you get that, a little bit cryptic again. But so we can learn to not take things so personally and learn to let go, especially of negative feelings that we may be holding. But also those things are attaching to too. You can rejoice, you can enjoy, no problem, but don't attach. Okay? So Master Atisha says, under the influence of wrong views, you do not realize the ultimate nature of things. Therefore, investigate correct meanings. So we have the ultimate nature of things, relative phenomena, or in relative existence, impermanent, unsatisfactory, and empty of self. Nirvana is freedom from all of these. Okay, not even the opposite of them. Not permanent or impermanent. Not satisfactory or unsatisfactory. Not self or no self. Okay, beyond that, Buddha nature. But in saying that, like I said last week and other times, even that is just words right now and a concept. It's beyond that. So we have not been able to understand the nature of things. You can say also the nature of things. There's three natures. So the first one is the imputed nature, where we label something, base it on a concept, or even it is a concept. It has words attached to it, imputed upon it. Then we have the relational nature, how it comes together, cause and effect, as well as if you think about, that you have a whole of something, whatever it is, and the components that make up the whole. This is a relational nature, and this relates to relative reality, okay? Conventional reality. And then, of course, we have the ultimate nature, which is the Buddha nature. You could say emptiness as well, okay? The ultimate bodhicitta. Okay, so that is the nature, three natures. Therefore, we should investigate correct meanings and how we do that. First of all, let me look at the time. We're doing okay. So how we do that, obviously, is by utilizing the three wisdoms, or what I like to call the three wisdom tools. They are tools, to reiterate, because we utilize them to realize the wisdom. Just like you would use a hammer to hammer in a nail. It's a tool. Just like you can use chopsticks or a knife and fork or your hands or whatever to have a meal. It's like using those things as tools. So now we work with the mind to develop wisdom. And so we utilize these wisdom tools. First of all, you must come across the teaching, isn't it? Or maybe I'll mention this as well. You must have a purpose. There's a reason why you want to develop this wisdom. There's a reason why you want to practice the Dharma. And so this is your purpose. And this is to attain enlightenment. It could be to free yourself from suffering. It could be to free yourself from these traumas. It could be to do just with, wanting happiness or having a nice, nutritious meal. But the ultimate goal, of course, is enlightenment, to realize our true nature. Then you have to know how to do it, methods to be put into practice, and then, of course, you have to practice. So now back to the three wisdom tools. You have to hear the teachings, such as now. Or this can also include reading the Dharma book, maybe also hearing it as well, on a video or whatever. Okay? Basically, becoming aware of the Dharma teachings, excuse me. Then, when we're hearing, we must hear, just do that, okay? Don't have opinions. Be alert, mindful, aware, conscientious when we are listening to the Dharma. We are listening to the teachings so that we can get to know them, get to know the methods and how to implement these methods to realize the purpose, realize our goal. Really get to understand them from hearing. So this is the wisdom that we attain through the wisdom of hearing, or the wisdom tool of hearing. When we listen, I'll utilize the example of the pots again. It must be a pot, clean pot, the right way up, like that. Not a pot the wrong way up. It means we're kind of here physically, but not paying attention mentally. Not a pot with holes, because we won't remember much at all. And not a pot with yesterday's curdled milk. Or if we utilize the example of water, what's it called? Putrid water. And so, because the pure water of the Dharma, or the pure milk of the Dharma, when it's poured into this curdled milk or this putrid water, it also becomes curdled or putrid. In other words, we have a mind filled with opinions, filled with ideas, wrong views, and so on. And then we listen to the Dharma like that, and then we actually mess it up. Okay? We miss the point. So listen to the Dharma with the good intentions, okay? Also, then we have the wisdom tool of contemplation. So once you've heard and remembered, then you utilize our intellect and our abilities to investigate and analyze what it is you've heard, so that you can get to really understand it. Remember, investigation is looking at the more gross and obvious aspects of whatever it is that you've read, learned. And then analysis, looking at the more subtle aspects. Once you have contemplated thoroughly and come to some understanding then you utilize your ability to meditate, to absorb your mind with this understanding. But here's a really simple example. Mathematics, okay? So basically, we know that 1 from there comes 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say you've never heard that before. Now you hear it. Now you investigate it. Oh, okay, these are sounds and they are corresponding to numbers, which is also a sound, by the way. And that's the order they come in, like that. Okay, so now I need to really get to know that. So now analyze a little bit more thoroughly, know it, meditate on it, so that your mind is absorbed with these numbers up to 10. Very simple, almost childlike example, but still works as an adult, doesn't it? So wisdom of hearing, get to know the Dharma by hearing it, then get to know the Dharma by contemplating it, then thoroughly understanding the Dharma, meditate and absorb your mind with the Dharma. So then you can go through the stages of the wisdom you attain from hearing, the wisdom you attain from contemplation, and the wisdom you attain through meditation. And so that is that teaching. And next week we'll have a look at, friends, there is no happiness in this swamp of samsara, so move to the firm ground of liberation. Meditate according to the advice of your spiritual guide and dry up the river of samsaric suffering. And probably, maybe stop after those 2 and do the other ones the following week. But we'll see how we go. Less than a minute. No idea when it went down. So hopefully you're enjoying my laptop. Like I said before, I was a little bit confused with it, so I had to rush and do some things. I had to set the camera, set the microphone. I didn't realize, I thought that would all be done. So, but that's okay. I'm here now, and looks like I won't have any troubles with the internet for a little bit. Okay, so I rejoice in your goodness, as always, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And you can contact me anytime, and be patient for me to get back to you. Sometimes I'm busy, but I will always do